All right, welcome to Math Today, guys. Today we're going to be doing lesson 17.4 in this book, Math in Focus, and we will be on pages 285. Again, remember that these videos are review. They are not new information yet. We're going back over things we've already learned, and that's okay. You still need to watch the videos, follow along. Just make sure we stay fresh on what we've already learned before getting to some new content next week. So today for lesson 17.4, let me go ahead and switch to so you can see the book from my computer. Very good. Keep in mind I'm new at this, so be patient. We're doing parallel lines. So we remember from last time, perpendicular lines are going to meet at right angles, those 90-degree right angles. They're a type of intersecting line. That means the lines meet. Some intersecting lines never meet, but not at perpendicular angles, so they're not perpendicular, but they're still intersecting. The definition of parallel lines is that they go on forever and they never touch. They always stay the same distance apart. So parallel, perpendicular, parallel, perpendicular. Hope that helps. So in our definition, it says parallel line segments can be found in objects all around you. Take a minute and pause the video after I say this and find some examples of parallel lines just in your home. All right, what things did you find? You may have found parallel lines on chairs, maybe on your table, two ends of the table being parallel, maybe even in your book, the top and the bottom are parallel, or the side and the side. Some other parallel lines, maybe thinking outside the box, it could be like some note cards near you. The top is parallel to the bottom, this side is parallel to this side. If those lines were to go on forever, they would never meet. So look here, you have parallel lines in these bricks. They're parallel line segments, or you have parallel lines in your window here. I bet a lot of you have parallel lines on your windows at home, or maybe in your blinds or in your kitchen cabinets. Maybe comment below the video on what you find, if that's something you can do. So parallel lines are two lines that will not meet no matter how long you draw them. The distance is always the same. So looking at what appears to be a ladder, the distance between AB and line, so AB, named with these right here, and CD will always remain the same no matter how long they get, no matter how long those lines are. So they are parallel line segments. Moving on to page 286, you'll notice that line AB and line CD are parallel. Parallel lines can be vertical, like this. They can be horizontal, like this. They can even be diagonal, like this, just as long as they go on forever and they would never meet as far as they go. So they do not intersect. They are lines that are not intersecting. Line EF and GH are also parallel. So we would say line EF and line GH are parallel. Very good. Look at the grids drawn below. So if you'll notice, line KL and line MN are always 2 blocks apart, exactly 2 blocks apart. Grid paper is a great way to be able to tell that lines are parallel. Moving on to page 287, what is the distance between the lines? So if you look at the one up here, line KL is always 2 square units from line NM. So look up here. Very good. If they did it vertically, line OP is always 2 square units from line QR. So line OP is parallel to line QR. Let's count. 1. Now, do they always have to be 2? No. 1, 2. So what if 2 line segments were always 4 lines apart? Are they parallel? Yes. What if they were always 1.5 lines apart? Is that parallel? Yes. It doesn't always have to be 2 square units. It just has to be the same distance apart and never changing. But let's look at the next page. On page 288, you'll notice line ST and UV. If line ST kept going and line UV kept going, you'll notice that they would eventually meet. So they are not parallel lines. You'll also notice that they're not the same distance apart. Let's count the square units. It's almost 3 square units right here between line TS and line VU, but it is only 1.5 square units between line TV and line SU. I'm sorry, line ST and line VU. I said that wrong. I know one of you would have caught me if we were in class. So they are not parallel. So looking here, you can also see if I kept on going, these lines would meet. You can also count they're about 2.5 squares apart here, and they're about 1.5 squares apart there. So they're not going to be parallel lines. So for guided practice, which one of these in your book are parallel lines? We'll call this A. Sorry, I'm just going to use my finger. B and C. Let's look at A first. In box A, you see lines QP and line QR. Are they parallel? Let's count the number of blocks that are apart. 1, 2, 3. They're 3 blocks apart. Let's check down here. 1, 2, 3. So they're both 3 blocks apart at any point. So they are parallel. So we will write yes. Yes, that's a really messy yes. We'll just put check for yes. Over here, if I made dotted lines, you'd see they'd eventually meet. So that's one sign. No, they're not parallel. Another sign is here, they're only 2 blocks apart. And here, they're about 3 blocks apart, square units apart. So no, these are not parallel lines. What about WX and Y and Z? Here they're 3 square units apart, here they're 3 square units apart, and here they're 3 square units apart. And if I kept drawing them, I'd still see that they would not meet. So they are parallel lines. Yes, WX, Y, and Z, those 2 lines are parallel. Over here, name the pairs of parallel line segments in each big figure. You would see that AB is parallel to line CD. So we'd actually write that out. AB is parallel to DC. And we always use capital letters when we're doing this. Very good. You could also say that AD is parallel to which one? You're right, BC. Very good. Now on the second big figure, we do have another set of parallel lines. IH is parallel to FG. We also see that there's so many on the third one. JO is parallel to LM, NM is parallel to JK, and KL is parallel to NO. That's a lot. So these are parallel, and these are parallel. Moving on to number 3. These are the same objects that you saw in your perpendicular line video. We had perpendicular lines here, right? But where are those parallel lines? We have a parallel, this side of the dollar is parallel to that side of the dollar. And this side of the dollar is parallel to that side of the dollar. On the book, this side of the book is parallel to that side of the book. And this top of the book is parallel to this bottom of the book. Number 4, it says copy the parallel lines onto grid paper. Well, you probably don't have grid paper at home, and we know that. You can copy it on notebook paper, or you can just watch me trace it here. So if you have time, pause the video and copy it on notebook paper. If not, just watch me trace it here. These are parallel. You'll notice they are vertically parallel, and they're 2 square units apart. These lines are only 1 square unit apart, and they are horizontally parallel. These lines are actually diagonally parallel, but they're still parallel. How can we tell? These are 2 square units apart, and these are 2 square units apart, even though those units are diagonal. They're still 2 square units apart. Same here. These are diagonally parallel too. And they're the same distance apart at different points in the line. Moving on to the guided practice. I'm going to give you opportunities to pause your video and write down your answers. Be really careful to look at that grid. Very good. And so once you pause it, write down your answers and then play to show what they are. So for numbers 1 and 2, tell whether the lines are parallel. For 3 and 4, identify the parallel line segments in each big figure. So I'll give you a second to pause. All right, hit play. Let's look at number 1. Here we'll see that these are about 1 apart if you counted this part of that square and this part of that square. But over here, they're about 1.5 square units apart. So are they going to be parallel? No. What about here? You'll see that it's 1 square unit apart and 1 square unit apart. So yes, these are parallel. Moving down here, AB is parallel to CD, and BD is parallel to AC. Moving on to number 4, ST is parallel to RQ, and that's it on that one. Number 5, find 2 pairs of parallel line segments on each object. I'll just help you through this one. Those 3-dimensional ones can be a little tough. You'll see that CD and AB are parallel, or you can do AD and BC are parallel. You can also do the sides of the TV. DF and AG are parallel. Can you find any other ones? Awesome. All right, number 6, AG and DF are parallel. Or you can do the top of the box, BC and AD. There are many more. That would be great if you could. So that is our lesson today. You have some extra practice in Google Classroom I would like you to do. It's the 17.4 extra practice pages. Sorry, I'm loading up the camera here. So you can just see me. It's the 17.4 practice pages that are in Google Classroom. It should be either down below or just above this video. Make sure to work on those. I'm going to upload the key. If you have any questions, you can ask me in the comments section, or even better, you can ask at our live meetings that either with me or with your teacher, if another class is using this video, will have during the week. So I wish you guys the best. And remember, perpendicular, parallel. Perpendicular, parallel, right? What do we call this angle? A right angle. If it's less than a right angle, it's acute. If it's greater than a right angle, it's obtuse. Right angles form perpendicular lines. Parallel lines go on forever. I'm trying to make it very parallel for you there, sorry. Go on forever in both directions and they never meet, right? No matter how long they would be, they would never meet. So very good. Have fun finding perpendicular and parallel lines all around your home. Talk about it to a younger sibling or an older sibling or your parents. I can't wait to hear about it in our next class discussion.